Trevor. KUJ wako?
Yeah, I'm representing you, but I think you should be coming.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good. It's good to know. It's good to be text or Evangelical Alliance, okay.
This is the...
Yeah, come on. Apollo. Okay, see you here. Then raise women for hope.
This hour of the afternoon as we give you praise and honor for who you are and what you are to us. We thank you for the gift of life and for the gift of this day, and we thank you for the gift of service to our nation. We commit ourselves to you, O God, as a consortium, that as we begin this press statement and addressing the nation, that your goodness and favor will be with us, and you give us a fellowship together with our members of the media and for your peace. We therefore invite your presence, that you be with us and lead us and guide us, O Lord, as we move forward. For this is our prayer of faith, trusting and believing in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you so much, Bishop. So my name is Joshua Changwon. I'm the Executive Director of CRECO Kenya and the co-chair of the Vote Peace Consortium. And I will allow also my co-chair to also introduce himself, and then I'll hand over to our members here so that we know who is in the room. So, Karibu Bishop.
Thank you. I'm Right Reverend Jeremiah Ngumo, the moderator for Interreligious Council of Kenya, IRCK.
Thank you very much. And we'll move right the direction of my left, introduction and where you work, and also the membership of the consortium. Karibu sana, SG.
Thank you so much. Welcome, colleagues. My name is Eric Odor. I'm Secretary General of Kenya Union of Journalists. So the media is also part of this consortium.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you. My name is Winnie Ali, representative Kenya Correspondents Association.
Great. Thank you so much.
Everyone, my name is Gertrude Betts. I work for Radio 94, which is part of this consortium.
Thank you so much, Gertrude.
Good afternoon. My name is Nicholas Dola. I work with the Institute for Interreligious Dialogue and Islamic Studies of Tanganyika University.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dola.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Rosanna. I'm from the Kenya University.
Thank you so much. Then to my right.
Okay. Let me start off. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Pauline Oladi. I'm the treasurer in Justice Africa Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
I'm Trevor Wasonga. I work for Ambassadors of Peaceful Elections.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. I also work for Justice Africa Kenya, but also nominated to lead the Secretariat of the World Peace Conference.
Thank you so much, Steve.
Good afternoon. I'm Ian Mandela,
Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sophia Gabriel. I'm representing Ambassadors of Peaceful Elections.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, members of the Fourth Estate, I think it would also be good to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself by name and also the media house that you represent. I know there is no moderator on the other end, but it would be good so that we have one conversation. Maybe you can start.
Okay, my name is Jyoti Mutua. I work for Global News Network.
Mutua. Okay. Global News Network. Thank you. Hand over to the next gentleman. Good evening. Thank you, Victor. Thank you so much, Pauline. Thank you. Nelly. Okay. From? Oh, Roy Villiers. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, Capuchin. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, Pauline. KBC. Citizen TV. Thank you so much. Okay. So, members, we want to start with our first session, which we had planned to gather here to sign a memorandum of understanding among 14 consortium members who are organizations that have subscribed to the Vote Peace initiative. And we will not be going into the details because we've gone through it from time to time. The membership here are the contributors of the contents of this particular MOU. And the MOU is a document that we have before us that is going to guide us from our day-to-day operations once we actualize and launch our consortium. And then we have different other principles that is also governing us in terms of the guiding principles, as well as also modalities of engagement, because you realize that we are dealing with a subject that requires people to conduct themselves in a manner that it attracts a lot of trust from the public, whether they are citizens or from government or the institutions of governance that have been given various mandates regarding the elections in this country, such as IEBC, the National Police Service, the Judiciary, Parliament, the Executive, and all other bodies that we have in our country, including also the media. So, members, we will be doing the short ceremonial activity here by signing this MOU in your presence, and then now we read our statement that is going to explain why we are doing this among ourselves here, and even during this particular period of 2026, which is a pre-election year, because next year is a general election year in our country. So we are represented organizations here, so I don't know, members, I seek your guidance, Bishop, also, whether we do sign this or we go straight to the statement and then we will do this signing after this. So I don't know which one is more appropriate. Eric?
We read the statement, then we release colleagues, then we remain and sign.
Thank you very much, members. So now, members, allow me welcome now the moderator of the reading of the press statement, Madam, to coordinate us to have this session take place. So, Karib Sana, Madam.
Thank you so much, members of the fourth estate. We've already introduced ourselves, and we've already said that the memorandum of understanding shall be signed later. At this juncture, would like to read the statement, and we shall welcome our leaders to do that. So feel very welcome and kindly go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, members of the press. This initiative is called Vote Peace Initiative. And I read, we, the undersigned representatives of the civil society, faith-based media, academia, private senior institutions, have today signed a memorandum of understanding committing to jointly promote peace and non-violent 2027 elections in Kenya. Elections play a very crucial role in the democratic process, allowing voters to periodically assess the effectiveness of their governance and choose the individuals to whom they wish to entrust their sovereign authority as leaders. Both international and Kenyan laws offer frameworks for ensuring credible elections, emphasizing that these elections must be conducted in a manner that is peaceful, free and fair, accurately representing the will of the voters. On the 9th of August 2022, Kenya held its third cycle of general elections, and the fourth will be in August 2027 under the Constitution of Kenya 2010. By signing this landmark Memorandum of Understanding, we have established a framework for our joint collaboration and coordination under the Vote Peace Initiative. This event is a culmination of a series of consultations, dialogue sessions, reflections, consensus building among our broad membership, and the beginning of a citizen-driven demand for peaceful elections in Kenya. The conception of the Vote Peace Initiative was inspired by the concern that election periods continue to be politically fragile, characterized by anxiety, fake news, tension, disinformation, and uncertainty. In this regard, our conviction has been that citizens have a very distinct and important role to play in implementing electoral management and administration institutions' efforts to maintain peace, security, stability during elections. This sacred role is prevention of electoral violence. We recall with much concern the 2007-2008 post-election violence that resulted in the loss of more than 1,000 lives and the displacement of over 600,000 people. Furthermore, we are concerned that since the year 2013 general elections, Kenya's presidential elections results have never been accepted by all major stakeholders after official results announced by the IEBC. It is noteworthy that presidential election outcomes in 2013, 2017, and the last ones in 2022 were subjected to constitutional adjudication before the Supreme Court, underscoring the importance of strengthening public confidence in the electoral process and institutions. Will the 2027 general elections set a new pace?
So through this memorandum of understanding, 14 like-minded non-state organizations from diverse professional backgrounds have formally committed to work together under the Vote Peace Consortium, an initiative designed to complement the IEBC efforts towards delivery of peaceful elections. Our unity is inspired by the conviction that the pursuit of peaceful and non-violent elections is too important to be left to the government alone. This pursuit requires the collective commitment of both state and non-state institutions and at national and county levels. By signing this memorandum of understanding, our respective organizations have individually and collectively resolved to amplify the concerns, aspirations, and voices of Kenyan citizens, particularly vulnerable and marginalized communities. The Vote Peace Consortium has committed to serve the people of Kenya as an independent, credible, trusted, and citizen-driven platform for peaceful elections and to abide by the principles of neutrality, non-partisanship, professionalism, integrity, accountability, transparency, inclusivity, conflict sensitivity, respect for diversity, and truthfulness. Do no harm, evidence-based advocacy, responsible management of information, and respect for human dignity and constitutionalism. The Memorandum of Understanding will serve as our internal mechanism of collaboration, governance, and coordinations, as well as mirror through which we will guarantee our code of conduct and responsibilities. It defines how we will engage with one another as members of the consortium and how we will engage with citizens, political actors, the election management body, state institutions, and development partners, among others. Beginning July 2026 and continuing through November 2027, the Vote Peace Initiative will implement the following broad project components. One, a national peace pledge, where we aim to spearhead a commitment by political candidates and parties ahead of the August 2027 general elections with emphasis on ethical leadership, accountable leadership, and adherence to the Constitution and the electoral laws, as well as also our national values and the Peace Charter. Two, prevention of electoral violence mission. We will train electoral violence prevention enumerators who will collect and document incidents of electoral violence and generate early warning alerts and recommend evidence-based rapid response interventions and recommendations while adhering to the principles of neutrality, accuracy, conflict sensitivity, and respect for human rights. Third, information integrity and media monitoring. We will train media practitioners engaged to scrutinize electronic, print, and social media platforms and identify and counter misinformation, disinformation, hate speech, and incitement while promoting truth, responsible communication, ethical use of media platforms to minimize incidences of electoral violence. Then fourth, national civic peace campaign. We will disseminate civic peace messages as well as also campaigns for non-violent election campaigns. We will clearly understand that the task ahead the task ahead is not easy and that it requires patience, courage, and long-term commitment. However, we are encouraged by the spirit of unity, a shared purpose that we have witnessed during the formation stages of this consortium. A faith-based, civic actors will affirm that sustainable peace is founded upon justice, respect for human dignity, truth, accountability, and adherence to the Constitution of Kenya. We recognize that peaceful elections are not merely the absence of violence, but the presence of trust, fairness, inclusion, and responsible leadership. In conclusion, we would like to begin the journey to peaceful elections by calling upon all political leaders, parties, and electoral stakeholders to act and speak in ways that promote peace, democratic values, responsible leadership, the rule of law, national cohesion, and public confidence in the electoral process. We would like to assure all electoral stakeholders that citizens and institutions to remain actively engaged, vigilant, and committed to safeguarding peaceful, credible, and constitutional elections. Our message is simple and clear. Let us all uphold peace, information integrity, accountability, and respect for the will of the people. May our elections be a celebration of democracy, not a trigger for conflicts and violence. Together we choose peace.
Thank you so much. Let's clap for our leaders. Indeed, that's our message. And at this juncture, we shall have the steering committee member organizations sign the press release, and maybe after that, we'll have the members of the fourth estate do any question and bring up any questions to our leaders for you people to clarify what we have done. Thank you so much. Members, we shall get this round for us to sign. Thank you. As the signing is going round, kindly we can have some of the members of the fourth estate ask any questions to our leaders. Thank you. Who is starting? Yes, please tell us your name and the media house you represent, and then you shoot the question.
I want to have a comment from you for gender balance on matters Buddhism. I think for most of us, the younger generation, this is a new thing we are seeing. I think it's a new trend. Also comment on it, and something that's coming up. It's new, and even the bishop, you could be having these kind of guests when you're having your own sermons. So maybe I'm coming from you, and of course the Electoral. We are covering the whole country, including the goons. We're also covering the goons as they unleash violence. So we are also in the line of danger. How can you say about that?
Thank you, Minor.
Thank you, Maina. Yes. Let's have another 2 more questions. Let's have another 2 more questions. Somebody else? Let's have another 2 more questions. Okay. Yes, please.
My name is Minalo Nama. I want to ask, we are almost a year plus before the election, and we're having this press conference calling for peace before the election. Should we be worried that there are too many signs that are pointing towards not having a peaceful election come August 2027? It is necessitating this kind of action this soon.
Thank you so much for that. Let's have one more question, then we answer that round. Yes, please.
What comment do you have on the anonymous goon that confessed yesterday that being sent by to attack the Westminster Cathedral?
Thank you so much. Let's have our leaders sign that, answer that, so we can start in no order. Anyone who is ready among us to answer.
So I think we are 3 of us here. Eric, you've been included here naturally. Thank you so much. Maina, thanks so much for that observation. Goonism is not a new thing. We've observed elections in this country from 2007, and those are the subsequent years before the 2010 constitution and after the 2010 constitution. I mean, this will be now the 4th election. And even what we saw in 2007, Goonism is what was used to propagate the violence that we witnessed in 2007, 2008. It's only that now it's becoming much more prominent and covered through social media, and many people are now becoming aware. It took various forms. It's only that there have been different mutations of this Goonism. In those other election years, like in 2007, it was, violence meted to the female candidates by male counterparts just to scare them from the political, scene. But the hiring of the young people, the young generation, even in 2007, the young people were used at that time. Even majority of the people that were killed during that post-election period were mostly the young people. But even again, when you ask the attack of the church, this is not a new thing in our country. We've had cases of churches. Even in 2007, the Kiambaa church in Eldoret, we saw that was a church. It's only that we've never kept a track of these attacks. Even last year, there were attacks on the churches. It's not a new thing. It's only that we are asking now, as a Vote Peace Consortium, that if the citizens are much more alert and more proactive into addressing some of these things and not allowing any of their persons from households to be recruited to be part of this Goonism, then we can reduce this, because their availability to take the cheap money from politicians and also, instigate violence against their neighbors or people that they have been sent to target is very unfortunate, because when you look at even the people who are suffering currently in terms of even explaining what happened are not the politicians. They are the people who had been mobilized and given the little money to go and do those particular things. Now, Muyanga, 1 year to elections, the signs of violence before 2027. This will be a very unique election. It will be an election that we have an incumbent president who is seeking a re-election, so it will be a tough election. And previously, this country has also seen other tough elections, such as the ones that we saw in 2017, and also the one that we saw also in 2007. That was an incumbent president seeking re-election, and where the government machinery that was in place was also activated in a way that the interest were very high. So 2027 is not an election that is so unique in this country. We've seen past elections that give us characteristics of how 2027 is going to look like. And that is why this initiative is coming at this particular time now to awake Kenyans and say, let's be vigilant and alert, and let's not allow violence. Lillian, the anonymous goon on, the comment. I mean, you see, in this country, we suffer a lot from lack of political decency. I mean, the bad manners that we see are being practiced by politicians is not really inspiring the people of this country to see the value of the vote. The tactics of dividing Kenyans along ethnicity, along social classes, we saw it in 2022. Currently, you hear, balkanization of, the voting bloc regions around, the naming of where they come from, if it is issues around the mountain and the lake or whatever, something like that. I mean, these are tactics by politicians to divide Kenyans, not to get an opportunity to make informed choices on who are their right leaders to ascend to power and decision-making levels. So let me welcome the Bishop to also make also a comment on the same, Eric.
Thank you. I think it's a deep concern and so embarrassing that we have the goon culture now coming up, because previously it looked like it was clandestine. But this time loud, it looks like it has been made official. They are walking in daylight, like the invasion of All Saints Cathedral, which is very much regrettable, and we condemn it in the strongest terms possible. And it is the reason for us coming together is to raise this awareness and to raise the sensitivity with our people so that we condemn it from all fronts. It is our prayer that the fourth estate will join us in condemning this. And we want to thank you because of capturing these scenes. Because by them being captured on the print media, it is helping the nation in terms of the magnitude that this goonism has been elevated. We don't want it to go like it is official, because it has seemed so that it is the politicians who are mobilizing, not organic groups that are coming up, but groups that seems to have been mobilized and paid, like this one last case. So we come to condemn it, and we pray that Kenya will be peaceful, and this is why we are raising this awareness, because the trend can become volatile in due time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Just briefly, there's a question that has been directed to me, and I will start by saying, why now? We all know that election is not a one-day event. It's a process that actually started immediately we concluded the 2022 general election. That means that it set the stage for plans for the next general election. So, and you also know that in 2 months, IBC will be announcing a 1-year countdown. So it basically we are in elections period. So that's why this initiative is very important at this particular time, so that we're able to address a few issues before they spiral out of control. Yes, the media, we've got responsibility to highlight what is happening in the society, especially during an electoral process like this, and one of them being violence that we've seen, crime that we've seen being committed by organized gangs. And as the media, we've got that responsibility to point out and call out the people who are responsible for this kind of crime that is being witnessed in different parts of the country. Because if we don't do that, you know, in Africa and in South America, to be very specific, that there are countries that have been taken over by organized gangs. So at the moment, politicians who are behind this could celebrate that they have supported these people to do what happened, like what happened on Friday at the All Saints Cathedral. But definitely, if this kind of support is withdrawn by these politicians, this gang will go out there and start targeting everybody. So that's why it's a concern to everybody, including the media, because we also live in this society that if we have a country there whereby even you as a journalist, you cannot carry your camera and come here and go back to the office and eventually go back home, you should be worried. So as the media, we got that responsibility to highlight some of these things that are happening out in the country so that action can be taken. And also to call out the people who are responsible for our security so that they can come out and swing into action to stop this from happening. Lastly, you know that we signed a memorandum of understanding between the media and IBC. And one of the areas that we agreed with the IBC that we'll be focusing on is the enforcement of the Electoral Code of Conduct so that IBC can also take action against these politicians. So even if they escape from their crime or whatever they have done, but IBC should be able to catch up with them at the point of clearance, so that any politician who has been linked to violence, has been linked to what we saw at Olsen Cathedral, then IBC should not clear those politicians to get into the positions of leadership. So the media, we've got a very clear responsibilities here on how we can help this country so that we have peaceful elections, and we also have credible leaders. You can imagine electing leaders who are responsible for violence we are seeing in this country. So that kind of impunity is what the media is supposed to call out so that we have a peaceful country and a stable country. So that is my response to the question that had been asked.
Thank you so much. Members of the fourth state, I'm taking another round of questions. Anyone? Yes, please.
Okay, no problem.
That is granted?
Yeah, no problem.
After this. Okay, thank you.
Yes, please.
So in the last 5 years, we've witnessed how the use of social media has grown and it is making everything so dynamic. How are you guys planning to leverage that as you boost your call on calling for peace in the upcoming general elections? Last time we saw that people could talk about something and before TikTok can come to realize to take it down, it already has millions of views and the information is already out there. So this time round, we know that Parliament stopped that bill to shut TikTok down, and it was still in operation during that time, and people are still the same way using it. So how do you guys plan to work through that?
Okay, thank you. Another question so that we can answer. Okay, maybe we can go right to those. Welcome our leaders.
So let me start by saying that in 2022, I mean, the grouping that you see here, faith-based, civil society, academia, media, and as well as also private sector, we engaged in the defense of freedom of expression, where Kenyans have a right to access information and also give their views. Social media is one of the platforms that Kenyans now are active users in terms of disseminating their information, including also leveraging on technology that is existing by communicating, cost effectively among themselves. We've seen around the region where social media is shut down. We are strongly against that. That should not happen in our country. Kenya should be unique, should not copy the manners of our neighboring countries by shutting social media. So what we've done is to have an initiative of monitoring the use of social media and flag out fake news, disinformation, and misinformation so that we can also verify information that exists on social media platform, verify them, and even debunk. And we have various platforms. For instance, CRECO will be supporting Vote Peace Initiative through Hakikisha platform, which is now in existence, where Kenya...
Now somebody can even come up with your own voice and somehow start to spread information that is not accurate. So we'll be working with different stakeholders. And even as the media, we've developed rules that will guide us, and the guidelines developed between Kenya Union of Journalists, Kenya Editors Guild, and Media Council will be out very soon, so that they can just guide us on how we will be able to join the country in fighting disinformation and misinformation. As advocates of free media and freedom of expression, obviously we cannot even imagine that we can shut down social media platforms in Kenya. What we'll do is that we'll be proactive so that we are able to flag out any misleading information that will come out there. So we put in enough mechanism to ensure that because that is going to our biggest headache in this era of AI, because people will produce news, people will come up with newspaper headlines that are likely to mislead the public. So we are alive to that. That is the major project that we'll be embarking on how just to flag them out and correct any kind of disinformation or any misinformation.
Thank you so much. Members of the fourth estate, as you can hear, we've answered your questions. And at this juncture, if we are not having any more round of questions, I would like to call Mr. Stephen Pande to give us a vote of thanks, of which after that we release you, and then we can have our in-house 1, 2, 3 meetings.
Thank you very much. We have a very simple message to electoral stakeholders that we are watching. We will soon embark on a process where we get into a social contract with the political stakeholders, electoral management institutions, and we will want them to sign and to commit to the fact that they will not trigger violence. They will not incite violence, they will not speak violence, they will not even intend violence. So that is coming as part of our projection, and very soon we will be asking political stakeholders, including parties, including political leaders, to commit before Kenyans that they will not at any time incite violence or promote violence. So we will be watching. The theme of the slogan of our campaign is that we are watching. On behalf of citizens and on behalf of the voiceless citizens of Kenya, we will be watching to see if these stakeholders will abide by these codes of conduct that Mr. Odura has talked about and abide by the pledge that we will sign with them. Together with the faith community, the media, the academia, and all the people represented in this consortium, we will be asking political stakeholders to sign before citizens and commit before citizens that they will not do this. So it's a start, and I thank you very much for coming for this grand start of this process, this grand and important process. This is a rare come together of stakeholders, non-state stakeholders involved in peace. It's a come together of media, private sector, civil society, faith and academia, and we are saying that together we will be watching on what is going on in this country. Thank you very much for coming, members of the Vote Peace Consortium, my colleagues at the Secretariat of the Vote Peace Consortium. We also thank the members of the media for coming and for capturing this. We hope that you capture what we have said very accurately and that you report us accurately. You do not do misinformation and disinformation. Thank you very much, and may the Lord bless us all.
Thank you so much. The meeting stands dissolved. Anything we discuss now shall not be for the media. Thank you so much.
Maybe a point of direction, we invite you for tea. I think the restaurant.
Yes.
Trevor is the assistant. Is it up here? Yes. Okay.
I know for the vernacular, if there is any language you think you can pick somebody, I mean after you can pick somebody, because I think the example is for Ramogi. I'm very sure I've seen in all of the any other vernacular station that